It's a top two battle tonight here at Lancer Field. Number one in the Hoosier North Athletic Conference baseball standings, LaVille Lancers take on the number two Porter County Baseball Conference South Central Satellites. It's a 5:30 start. We'll be here with the first pitch on LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
The following broadcast is the exclusive property of LVH1 and the Union North United School Corporation for the private use of our audience and fans. Any retransmission or duplication of this broadcast without the written consent of LVH1 or the Union North United School Corporation is strictly prohibited. We hope you enjoy this event, and go Lancers!
Field on the campus of LaVille Junior Senior High School. A very pleasant good evening and welcome to this live broadcast from LVH1, the home for Lancer Athletics on YouTube. Alongside our student videographer and tech director, Zach Dolgus, Wayne Thomas, I'm Matt Florian. Very happy to welcome you into the broadcast this evening for what should be a sectional preview showdown between the Satellites of South Central and the Lancers of LaVille. Both teams come in with one conference loss, and both teams with deep aspirations in the postseason play coming up soon at the end of this month. It's a cool evening here at Lancer Field. Weather forecast about 40, high 40s, low 50s. It's very unseasonably cold the last few days here in Lakeville, Indiana. 20 degrees below what the average should be as these two teams get ready to face off this evening. Focusing on the South Central Satellites, coached by Ryan Krushka, they come in with an 8-5 record so far in a 5-1 conference in the Porter County baseball standings. Satellites started the season on the 29th at Wheeler in Valparaiso with a loss and then another loss at Plymouth early in April. They followed it up with two wins against Speedway, a doubleheader on the 8th of April, followed by two losses to Morgan Township and Michigan City, both tough games. Since then, though, they have been hot, winning in their last 7-6, and the one loss coming to New Prairie at New Prairie. A powerhouse in northern western Indiana, to be sure, and one that the Lancers will undoubtedly see in the postseason this year. To the Lancers, their season so far is 9-3, 9 wins, 3 losses, including an 8-1 record in the conference. They opened up this season at Rochester with a 10-1 win, a loss against Triton at Lancer Field. 8-2 was the score of that game. They avenged it the next day with a 9-3 victory at Triton. Lancers have been on a bit of a hot streak of their own, winning 5 of the last 5 against Culver Community, Caston, both road games. A Caston home game on the 25th, West Central on Saturday, a game that was to be a doubleheader that was rained out. And tonight they face South Central. It will be a quick start to this game. South Central slightly late getting on the road. Game scheduled for a 5:30 first pitch. It is now 5:45, and as you see, we have the managers and the umpires for this evening exchanging pleasantries and scorecards at home plate. Our IHSAA officials this evening, John Wright, controlling the bases and calling balls and strikes. Behind the plate, Mr. Rich Cartwright. In a few moments, we'll turn it over to the voice of Lancer Field, the incomparable Steve Cox, and I'm going to welcome in the equally incomparable Wayne Thomas.
Oh,
good to have you aboard.
Don't set the bar so high.
Good to have you aboard, my friend. One of the first, I believe this will be is this our first one together or a second live broadcast from the Lancer baseball diamond this season?
This is my baseball debut. So
My
this is an
goodness.
exciting night for everyone involved, and it's live, so you won't even have time to edit me out tonight.
There you go. We do hope that you will subscribe to us on YouTube by hitting the red subscribe button under this video. We also hope you will follow us on Twitter at LVH1 Live. I believe the discussion was, and you'll have to correct me on this, it will be no lineup introduction, straight into National Anthem, and straight into the game.
Yeah, with a little bit of the travel difficulties, it seems like South Central had getting here. Short drive, but maybe a couple potholes in the way. So we're not going to do the lineups at all. We're just going to do some National Anthem, get straight to the game.
And we are bypassing the National Anthem. We will honor America later this year many times.
Honor America with America's pastime.
There you are. It's a cool night for it, as we mentioned. The wind here at Lancer Field is, I guess you could say, calm. Any wind that is blowing will come out of the infield. It's definitely a pitcher's wind this evening, but again, it is very calm compared to some of the games we've had earlier this season. In lieu of Coach Steve Cox, we'll do our lineups here. First, for the visiting Satellites of South Central High School, they are coached by Ryan Krushka, bringing an 8-5 record into this game, 5-1 in the Porter County Conference, which is good enough for second place in that conference baseball standings. Leading off today will be number 4, Charles Crawford. He is playing shortstop. Second in the lineup is R.J. Snyder, playing second base. Batting third, Carson Hussman, who is in center field. Cleanup batting is number 1, Max Sims, who is on third base. Batting fifth for South Central, number 6, Kyle Schmack. He is on first base. Number 16, Spencer Clems, is catching tonight for the Satellites. 7th in the batting order. Number 10, Ethan Michaels, who is at left field on defense. 8th in the lineup is number 15, Trent Smoker. He is in right field, and rounding out the batting order and pitching this evening for the Satellites, number 5, BJ Intagliata. I'm going to make sure I get that correct at some point. We'll double check with Coach Cox in a moment or two.
I'm leaving that one to you.
There you are.
South Central, shortstop, number 4, Charles Crawford.
Crawford at the plate. We'll go through the starting defensive lineups for the Lancers in just a few moments. Coached by Brian Lawler, off to a hot start this season. 8-1 overall. 8-1 in the Hoosier North baseball standings. 9-3. Riley Cox on the mound for the Lancers. Takes ball 1. Fouled up and back and into the forest behind Lancer Field for strike 1. Your batting order and your defensive positions for the Lancers. Leading off and in center field, number 22, Garth Metters. Second base and batting second, number 9, Connor Wazorek. Adam Steinke is at shortstop. He's batting third. Number 2, Anthony Felke is in left field, batting cleanup. Fouled off again. We'll do it one more time. 2-2. This is the count. Fifth in the lineup for the Lancers. And at third base, number 13, Jimmy Fisher. Batting sixth, Isaiah Herbster, who's at first base, number 35. Justin Clark, number 1, is in right field this evening for the Lancers. Riley Cox on the mound. The designated hitter for him is Nick Felke. And catching this evening for the Lancers behind the plate, number 7, Nick Moore, who is rounding out the batting order for your Lancers. It's a full count in the top of the first. Outside, base on balls.
Right, first base.
Crawford to first, and batting second, R.J. Snyder. It looks like we will have just a quick exchange of pads.
little bit of a drop-off. They don't want all of that really weighting him down as he tries to run the bases tonight.
It's a full crew up here in the press box at Lancer
That was
Field.
a little bit of a joke, not a funny one, but it was still a joke.
Throw down to second, not going to be in time. Lancers concede the stolen base. Good effort there by Nick Moore behind the plate.
And that's our freshman catcher, too, throwing to the senior infield. So quite the mixed bag we have tonight of freshmen and seniors. And if you know most of the players out here, comparing them to Nuts isn't really that much of a stretch.
Pass ball gets all the way to the backstop here at Lancer Field. Runner advances to third, so depending on how you score that, now that Dennis isn't here, we'd call that, I suppose, a pass ball rather than a stolen base or a wild pitch. The incomparable Dr. Coach Will Hostrauser here to help us out with baseball terminology and statics. 2-1 to R.J. Snyder. Popped up, and this will be out of play and behind us.
But us.
I'm glad I moved my truck. That was parked behind the press box. I probably would have had a couple of dents.
We've already sent a few out into the woods tonight. We're going to have to send somebody out to start fetching the baseballs.
Well hit to left field. This will be a base hit, and this will be 1 run scored for R.J. Snyder. RBI double for number 2, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Satellites with Carson Hussman stepping up to the plate for South Central.
That's right, they're getting on the board early tonight, so trying to get themselves an early lead.
Center fielder number 13, Carson Hussman.
Try to get some early momentum tonight against the Lancers while they're on the road.
On-base percentage for South Central, .479 on the year coming into this game. 22 stolen bases, an ERA of 3.07. 155 runs for this ball club coming out of Porter County this evening.
And doing some of my homework earlier, you'll see the stats between these two teams don't really separate that far. They're pretty comparable as far as on-base percentage, batting average, even slugging. All of their numbers are pretty similar. Nothing really stands out aside from stolen bases. They've already got 1, maybe 2 tonight, depending on who's got the pen.
Outside, then inside for Hussman. The sophomore has a 2-1 count. Carson Hussman also plays golf and basketball at South Central. This will be just foul. That would have been a dangerous play there.
That would have been really dangerous. Snyder already had a pretty good lead off a second. He was ready to come home with that one.
An out here would be ideal. Hussman batting .465 on the year. An on-base percentage of .540. Runners at first and second for the Satellites.
Runners at first and second.
And that'll be the senior, Max Sims, at the plate.
Third baseman number 1, Max Sims.
The senior in 29 at-bats has 10 runs and 13 RBIs, and with 2 runners on. This will be another drive to deep left center field, all the way to the fence, and time called.
That's going to be a ground rule double with it rolling into the fence like that. If they're not able to get it, if there's any interference, anything along those lines, the runner gets to move to second. I think the one that was already on base should be back on third, but I am by no means an umpire.
The IHSAA official, John Wright, with the jog out to left center field just enough to make sure that the call there
And that's
is
why
going to be accurate.
That's why the runner stayed on home, was just in case the umpire turned it over, he could simply make the tag on home and call it another run.
Anthony Felke and Garth Metters left field and center field respectively. Both chased that ball down aggressively, but both almost at the same time put their hands up for time. Now that's a question, I suppose, for Coach Will. Is that the ball went through or under the fence, underneath the fencing? Ground rule double. So now runners at second and third, scoring position. Riley Cox with a slip and a fall.
In the early days of baseball, that fence would actually have fans standing in front of it. Those fans would hold a rope. They'd be able to move that rope to call it a double for their team or pull it back. And that way the other team just got a single out of it. It's a little bit of manipulation from the fan part we took out of the play now.
Just a little bit of manipulation that we took. Kyle Schmack, the sophomore, couldn't check his swing. It's 1-2. Fouled straight back. We'll do it again.
If you pay tickets to stand in the outfield during a professional game, you should be able to have a little bit of influence, I suppose.
I don't think they sell those too much anymore.
Not anymore.
I don't. That's about the same era as the you look pretty honest and respectable. Come on out and umpire for us from this rocking chair.
Yeah.
Delivery from Cox outside in the dirt. 2-2.
Yeah, back in the really early days, they didn't really have balls and strikes. They had could he hit it or could he not.
Pass ball again. Play at the plate. Moore can't scoop it.
Come on, Riley.
Run number 3.
Go.
Lancer dug themselves into a little bit of a hole early in this game.
Yeah, Riley Cox pitching doesn't have a huge sample size. He is a sophomore, one of the youngest that's actually pitched for the LaVille Lancers this year. But he's only got 1 game under his belt. He's coming in here against by all accounts, a solid squad. He's really got to get through this first inning.
This will be foul, just barely. Felke down in left field territory took that one all the way to the fence, and he's breathing a sigh of relief. That was about 1.5 feet in foul territory, and the Lancers were lucky. That would have been one more, and easily a double for Schmack. High, and that's another base conceded off of balls from Riley Cox.
Yeah, Riley's just got to pick his shoulders up and get a few outs here. Can't let this first inning eat him up.
Clems at the plate. That's Spencer Clems, the senior, batting .483 on the season through 12 games played.
The catcher, number 16, Spencer Clems.
And that's one of the good things, I think, about this Lancer squad and about the South Central Satellite squad that Coach Krushka has put together. Pop fly. This will be back against the fence, and a little fan. It'll be a young Miss Felke with a souvenir there. But Coach Lawler here at LaVille and Coach Krushka over at South Central, they're fortunate to have not just the senior experience, the upper class experience, but also the young guns that are really performing. The runner goes. Chopper, that'll be over to third baseman. High, can't bring it down. Lancers will concede third on that one. So the runner advances to second on a stolen base, then to third. That'll be an RBI single.
Yeah, that was some
for
really
Clems.
good base running. So
And that'll be, will be a courtesy runner coming in. Clems, the catcher, will be replaced by number 11, the sophomore Brant Popelwell. Popelwell, pardon me.
Number 11, Brant Popelwell.
That's another one of those. Popelwell has played 8 games out of the 13 that the Satellites have put together in this campaign, but he's already, as a sophomore, he's put together 300 batting average. 13 at-bats of his own.
Now batting for
6 runs and 2 RBIs for the young sophomore now on first base. Satellites with runners on the corners. And number 10, Ethan Michaels. Lancers will concede second base again. I think that's got to be the third stolen base allowed by the Lancers this evening.
Yeah, according to my my score sheet up over here, I've got them at 3 stolen bases already. So a lot of on-base attempts for them. But Nick Moore didn't even really take the shot to end that one. They just gave it up, move him into double play territory.
4-0 is the score. Michaels takes ball 2 high. 4-0, top of the first. No outs, runners at second and third for the Satellites. Delivery from Cox on the way. Low, and Michaels has worked the count full. Gets a sign for Moore. Wines swung hard. That'll be over the head of Jimmy Fisher at third base. Felke will scoop. 1 run scores. That'll be an RBI single.
And Felke sent a rocket in there from left field, trying to get that runner to stop at third. Only gave up 1 more run instead of the 2 that easily could have happened had he hit the cutoff man.
Runners at the corners once again. Felke keeping it under control. 5-0 is the deficit for the Lancers in the top of the first. Still no outs. At the plate, number 15, Trent Smoker, the freshman.
Yeah, and at this point, they're not going to worry too much about another stolen base getting to second. They're going to watch the guy on third, make sure he stays there, stays put.
8th in the lineup, strike 1. Satellites have nearly worked through their entire batting order here in the top of the first. Swung, and that'll be fouled down the third base line.
And if I was Riley, I would make sure not to throw another one there. That was
popped up and out of play behind us. Riley Cox, the sophomore on this year. High ball 2. Had 1 plate appearance offensively against Rochester on the 7th. Definitely a young player that we're happy to see develop. Full count. Here's the delivery. Swung, and that'll be fouled out of play down the first baseline.
That's another one of them that he really hit with some power. Isaac Ross catching it out from the bullpen already. I guess you could say he really smoked that one. Huh?
There you go. We'll do it again. Swing and a miss.
All right, that's the first out for Riley up there, so that should really bring his spirits up a little bit higher, get a couple more Ks.
Brings up the pitcher, number 5, BJ.
Smoker goes down swinging. Tagliata at the plate. The sophomore. This will be into right field. Justin Clark underneath it. Runner tags up and scores.
That's going to be an out, but it's one of them that we discussed at a previous game, another sacrifice fly. Not a huge fan of that ruling, but
2 outs, runner on second, brings up
6-0, but with 2 outs.
Number 4, Charles Crawford.
I suppose I'd be more of a fan if I was ever able to hit the ball that far, but I was not during my playing days.
The shortstop, top of the order for the Satellites. He's got a runner at second base, and he's already got a base on balls.
He scored the first run of the night to open this up. They're up 6-0 already in the first inning.
Cox gets the sign, swung, fouled up and out of play into the forest. Based on the sounds that the crowd and the satellite dugout made, that may have made it into the swamp side of the forest over there behind Lancer Field. 2-1 to Crawford. Riley gets a sign, likes what he sees, delivers in the dirt. Pitchers count to Crawford. Top of the order for the Satellites, 6-0 in favor of South Central in the top of the first here at Lancer Field.
Yeah, we've still got Michaels on second.
Called strike outside.
I was called a strike. I would not throw that pitch again. I don't know if it's going to be called a strike after that.
Rich Cartwright, our home plate umpire. Scoop by Steinke at shortstop, not in time. Missed the play at home plate. Run scores, it'll be an RBI single for Crawford. That brings up number 2, R.J. Snyder.
Batting now for South Central, second baseman number 2, R.J. Snyder.
Snyder had a double earlier this inning that brought in 1. Runner goes. Here's a pickoff attempt. Just behind. And that's the speed of the base runners for South Central is tremendous coming into this game.
But that was a great throw from the freshman behind the plate tonight.
This will be swung, and this will be to Steinke. Going to be off the mark again. Isaiah Herbster takes a couple of steps toward third base. Runners at the corner, Crawford at third base, Snyder at first base, and number 13,
Batting in the number 3 position,
Carson Hussman.
Center fielder number 13, Carson Hussman.
Quick pickoff attempt of Riley Cox.
Riley's not a fan of all the stolen bases. He's just trying to pull one of them back a little bit closer to the bag.
Delivery, runner goes. Moore's going to let it slide. Riley takes a quick look over at Crawford at third base. 0-1 to Hussman. Low and away, ball 1.
And you got to appreciate the effort to keep an eye on third, but I think really he's just got to focus on this batter now, get this final out, get his offense onto the field, and
This will be well hit to center field. Metters underneath it. Can't make it all the way to the fence. Gets it to the cutoff man, Adam Steinke. RBI double. 2 runs.
Clearing.
A bases clearing. RBI double for Hussman. 9-0 in favor of the Satellites.
This is going to bring Coach out to.
Coach Lawler's going to have a quick conversation with his sophomore pitcher. That'll be Max Sims at the plate. And it looks like there will be a position change. Number 20 for the Lancers. That'll be Isaac Ross coming in, the senior, in relief of Riley Cox. A rough outing for the sophomore. We're going to take a moment, step aside, hear from some of our sponsors. You're listening to LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation from Lancer Field.
At TNA Rigging Incorporated, the staff works hard to ensure that your project is completed safely, on time, and with the least amount of interruption to your production. They aren't interested in only completing one project. Their goal is to build long-lasting relationships with customers. From machinery movement and repair, installation, transportation services, TNA Rigging has been serving Indiana and Michigan for over 10 years. For all your machinery and installation needs, call the crew at TNA Rigging Incorporated at 574-233-3074. TNA Rigging Incorporated, your satisfaction is our success.
A crisp October evening. A stadium filled with fans. A pass thrown. A journey completed. State of euphoria? No. The state of Indiana. High school sports. pure spirit, pure sport, pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
LVH1 Broadcasting is seeking advertisers and donors for the 2017-18 athletic year and academic year. If you are interested in donating to student publications and student broadcasting here at LaVille Junior Senior High School, please contact us at broadcasting@unorth.k12.in.us. Isaac Ross on the mound for the Lancers. Nick Moore takes his first pitch, a strike off of the mask. Delivery from Ross, swung out of play. First base side, 0-2.
And an early pitcher's count for him already. The senior coming in to relieve the sophomore. Isaac Ross really overcame a lot. He had a really bad year last year, a lot of back problems. And he's come back to play some basketball this year and play some baseball and play both of them very well.
Doing an exceptional job as a multi-sport athlete like so many on this Lancer squad and like so many on the South Central Satellite squad as well.
You know, and he just relieved Cox, and it's a shame to see him leave the game so early, but Cox himself, National Honor Society, he plays basketball. He's just an all-around great student and great athlete. I'm sure he'll come back out next game and throw a little bit more heat over the plate and get some Ks.
Max Sims at the plate. He's worked the count full. Delivery from Ross. Swung, popped up. This will be playable into left field. Felke calling for it. Underneath it. Out number 3. That'll be 1.5 trips through the batting order for South Central. They do some damage here in the top of the first. It's a 9-0 deficit as the Lancers step into the batting box in the bottom of the first. Coming up at Lancer Field. You're listening to LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
First West Bank is a proud sponsor of LaVille Athletics. Whatever your future holds after high school, make sure you also think about your financial future. Opening an e-student checking account with First Source Bank is a great way to keep you connected to your personal finances as you start on your road to success. Bank the way you want, when you want, 24/7. Apply online at firstsource.com today, or come see us at locations in La Paz, Plymouth, Bremen, Walkerton, or South Bend.
First Source Bank.
Member FDIC.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
LVH1 Broadcasting is live on YouTube. We hope you will subscribe to us by hitting the red subscribe button underneath this video. We also hope you will follow us on Twitter at LVH1 Live for updates, news from LaVille Junior Senior High School, and the work that our student broadcasting class and club put in throughout the school year. LVH1 Broadcasting, the voice of Lancer Nation. Bottom of the first inning, it's a 9-0 lead that the South Central Satellites have built over the Lancers after a superlative start in the top of the game. Your batting order for the Lancers here in the bottom of the first inning. Garth Metters will be followed by Connor Wazorek and Adam Steinke. 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. Delivery swung hard by Metters, fouled down the third base line, and we're underway in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and Garth has a little bit of pop to that bat. He's going to be able to knock a few around hopefully tonight. Use that 9-0 lead as a little bit of a motivation to get on base and add to his season total for stolen bases. He's got some wheels under him. He's already at 10 for the season.
0-2 Called strike. Delivery high, ball one. Good eye there by the senior. Transfer product out of Ohio. Got to LaVille a couple of months ago. Is already making an impact on this baseball squad for Coach Lawler. Delivery outside. Ball two.
Yeah, Garth, one of them, he is new to the team, but he's already batting leadoff. That's a really important role in your lineup to come in new to the team and take over that spot.
Rips one just foul down the third base line. It was dancing back and forth the whole way and just curved just inside the foul line in left field. That would have been easily a double if it had been about 3 inches closer to center field.
With his speed, that was going to be a standing double. We're going to have to find who painted the lines out there and get him to move a little bit.
So we do it again, 2-2. Here's the delivery. In the dirt. The seniors worked it full. Pitching tonight for South Central, B.J. Intagliata, the sophomore. And through this season, he's 2-2.
Matters with the leadoff walk.
Had a rough start. I think just like Riley Cox, he had a rough start of his own. He gave up a 12-run game against Plymouth with an ERA that way too high to pass along to the families and at home.
But again, it's a small sample size. You don't have a whole lot to base that off of.
Exactly. And he followed that up with 2 wins, one against Couts and one against Lake Station Edison. The game against Edison on the 27th was a 9-3 victory for the Satellites, and his ERA was 1.75. So pretty good hit there. That's Wazorek at the plate. Flies out to shallow center field. That's number 13. Hoosman coming in to record out number 1. Metters still at first. Adam Steinke, the shortstop for the Lancers tonight, at the plate.
Number 4, Adam Steinke.
Lancers in white with blue letters this evening here at Lancer Field in the home uniform. Satellites in blue with red letters and red ball caps. Tagliata checks first base, then delivers. Steinke swings hard, but fouls it up and back, 0-1.
For anyone that's a fan of the majors, it looks a little bit like one of those California teams versus an Ohio team tonight, with the colors that are out there on the field.
Tagliata gets the signal from Clems behind the plate. Quick check of Metters at first base.
You can see they've done their scouting report. They know that he's ready to get another bag on there, so they're trying to hold him back as far as they can to stop that lead, but at this point it's almost inevitable.
Lancers have a 9-run hole to dig out of, and that's a balk.
I take it back, not inevitable.
Tagliata, and we're going to have to double check on that. Say that again, Coach?
You got to come to a pause when you're in the stretch. You can't start your motion and go one continuous motion to the plate. It's unfair advantage to defense when you do that.
Call from the base umpire, John Wright, and Tagliata paused. Balked. No, he balked, but what caused it was the pause, you said?
A lack of pause.
Did not pause. Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. He did not pause before delivering, and that swung hard and fouled off. Lancers have been favoring that left field foul territory all night. I think you're right, Mr. Thomas. We might have to talk to whoever's in charge of grounds out here and paint that line just a little bit outside. 1-2 to Steinke.
I'll tell them how good of a job they've done, too. This is a beautiful ballpark out here.
Absolutely.
They maintain it very nicely. And
especially considering the challenges, shall we say, that Mother Nature has had thrown at most of the high school teams in northern Indiana.
She has not been cooperative to our spring sports this
Metters
season.
is going to take off to third, slides, but there's no contest there from Clems. Thought about a quick toss, but saw that Metters was already just about on third base. So Lancers have a runner in scoring position, Steinke at the plate with a full count, 1 out, 9-0 in favor of South Central.
And Metters already has a dirty uniform from a couple slides.
That's a swing. That's going to be into center field.
But he tags up. Metter tags up on third.
Here's going to be a play, and this is going to be safe.
That throw was close. That was a really good play from center field to the catcher there. But Garth racks up the first run for the Lancers tonight.
Great play there. I'll tell you what, if Spencer Clems comes down with that, that's an easy out. But a little bit over his head, and ball goes all the way back to the backstop, and we've got a run on the board for the Lancers this evening. Number 2, Anthony Felke at the plate, 2 outs.
How's this for a stat line tonight? 1 run and 0 hits thus far.
This is a quick chopper to the second base. 4-3 routine play. Out number 3. The Lancers have got 1 back on the board, but they still have a big hole to climb out of. 9-1 is the score going into the second inning. South Central on top of LaVille here at Lancer Field. You're listening to LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
First Source Bank is a proud sponsor of LaVille Athletics. Whatever your future holds after high school, make sure you also think about your financial future. Opening an e-student checking account with First Source Bank is a great way to keep you connected to your personal finances as you start on your road to success. Bank the way you want, when you want, 24/7. Apply online at firstsource.com today, or come see us at locations in La Paz, Plymouth, Bremen, Walkerton, or South Bend.
First Source Bank.
Member FDIC.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
LVH1 broadcasting brought to you by the Union North United School Corporation. First Source Bank of La Paz, Indiana. TNA Rigging of Plymouth and South Bend, Indiana. Top of the second inning. Swing and a hard hit to center field. This will be a base hit for number 6, Schmack. Schmacked one right into center field for a single.
I see
to
what
start
you did there.
I do what I can to start the second inning. Alongside Wayne Thomas and our student tech director this evening, Zach Dolgus, I'm Matt Florian. Very happy to have you aboard. 9-1.
And they are picking up right where they left off. Another hit to start the second inning. If you're going to eat an elephant, you have to do it one bite at a time. And the Lancers took a bite out, getting a run that first inning, but they've really got to stop that elephant from moving along now if they're going to catch up. He zinged that one just foul.
Spencer Clems at the plate for the Satellites. He's got 1 aboard, 1-1. And both teams really favoring that zinger down the third base line that just winds its way foul. Isaac Ross on the mound in relief. Swing and a miss there. That'll be strike number 2 for the Satellite catcher this evening. Nearly all the way around there for number 16. Inside. He's worked it full. Quick dust off of the elbow pad there for number 16. Not sure he actually got anything there. Swing and a miss there. First K of the night for Ross. And boy, Clems wants that one back. The senior batting .483 on the year.
That was a violent hack he had at it, but
Now batting for South Central.
Just the
left fielder
sixth
number 10,
strikeout on the year for the
Michaels.
senior through 12 games. Good start for Isaac Ross.
Isaac
Ball
Ross
that-
a little bit more experience to him. He doesn't. He's not going to get. He's not going to get quite as discouraged with the way he plays. Having this deficit already this early in the game, he's seen it before. He's been playing for 4 years. Probably played a little bit of ball before he got to high school, and he knows how to overcome adversity like this, as well as the rest of the freshmen on the team are going to figure out.
Ethan Michaels watches pitch number 2 called strike go by. Quick toss over to first base. The sophomore Schmack dives back. Gotta love this South Central team. We covered them last year on LVH1 at Newton Park for the sectional championship. Fouled down the first base line and nearly into the dugout, and it was into the dugout for the home team. Waking everybody up down there.
They're backing up from the fence a little bit after that one.
There at Union Mills, Indiana. South Central High School.
You can already see with that pickoff attempt from Ross earlier, the lead that they're taking over on first is very diminished now. It's probably cut in half. Ross saw enough stolen bases in that first inning. He doesn't want to give any more up himself.
Runner goes. Moore's going to try. It's going to be a high toss and not going to be there in time. If he can bring it down, put a little bit more mustard on it, I think you might see that number 7 get a couple more pickoffs. But again, the youth on this team has a lot of good promise for the years to come. This will be a chopper. This could get by. No, it does not. Get by. No, he can't hang on to it. Not sure where he's going with that one. Jimmy should have been on third. Now he's getting an earful from the senior. The one downside to having such youth on the team, number 13 out of position there, could have been a play. I think that's what caused Adam just to spike it into the dirt there. So runners at the corners.
A little bit of his quarterback mentality coming into play. But it looked like Fisher was trying to run and make a play, and in turn gave up his position on the field.
Trent Smoker at the plate. He's got one strikeout. And he's got ball number 1.
We're missing Dennis a little bit. We got Zach over here doing double duty. We'll probably have to increase his pay a little bit.
Don't tell him that. Don't want to give him any ideas. Runner goes. Nick Moore can't hang on to it.
If Dennis were here, he would probably tell me to write down an E somewhere on my scorecard that time.
Somewhere, anywhere on the scorecard.
You're not here, Dennis, and I'm not going to write that E.
The Lancers, that's the difference between Dennis Fights keeping score. Quick pass ball. Runners hold position. Second and third occupied by blue jerseys. That's Schmack and Michaels on the bases for South Central. Delivery from Ross, called ball 3. 4 straight balls to number 15.
That's going to load the bases.
And that brings up Intagliata, number 5, bottom of the order. And with 1 out, Ross has got to think about trying to get out before the meat of the order comes to the plate for the Satellites. Low and away, ball 1.
And this is just such a hard position to be in when you're already down like this. It seems like every mistake is magnified because you don't have any more wiggle room. You gave it all up in the first inning. Now you really have to come into the second inning with your A game, and instead we've loaded the bases and we've put them in a prime position with only 1 out to build off this already demanding lead.
Quick scoop there. Out number 1. Runner scores, but a good play That'll be, I believe, I'll have to double check.
4-3.
That is a 4-3. So that'll be Connor Wazorek, freshman, making his presence felt at second base. Freshman to freshman, out number 2. Run scores, runners at second and third, top of the order. And that'll be Charles Crawford, pardon me, at the plate for the Satellites.
Yeah, C9 over there in shortstop, he really epitomizes kind of the potential that this team has right now. Another one of the freshmen, he's in a leadership role, taking over at second base, taking over at second base, but kind of a leadership role. He's got an on-base percentage just out of this world. And he's able to make defensive plays like that last one, and another one to left field. A chopper, just foul.
Straight up and straight down into no man's land down the third base line. I'll tell you what, on the subject of the umpires that used to park themselves in the rocking chairs just out of the dugout in the early days, you could probably park a rocking chair down there and get a whole bunch of souvenirs. That'll be in a shallow right field. RBI single, runners at the corners. And Crawford's got 1 RBI and 3 singles on the day. 2 singles, pardon me.
Yeah, sorry, you can't read my notes quite as well, but
batting for South Central, second
I see that. Yeah, 2 singles and a base on balls. Not a bad start for the leadoff. Crawford, the shortstop for the Satellites. R.J. Snyder at the plate. 11 runs have scored in this game for the Satellites. 11-1 is the score. That'll be a chopper, and that'll be a quick run over to first base. Out number 3. 3 unassisted for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the second. Lancers trail by 10. You're listening to LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
Introducing T&A Rigging Incorporated. Since 2005, we have been the premier machinery moving company for Lakeville and the surrounding areas. Our experts specialize in moving heavy equipment and machinery. We can also install, repair, and offer precision alignment for your machines. We can help with crane services and steel fabrication in shop or on site. For more info, visit tarigging.com or call 574-233-3074.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Indiana are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
LVH1 is seeking sponsors and donors for the 2017-2018 academic year and athletic seasons. If you would like to support the mission of LVH1, broadcasting live athletic events, school concerts, plays, and other LaVille Junior Senior High School events throughout the year, and if you would like to help support, 3151 or email us broadcasting@unorth.k12.in.us today. Swing, and this will be a skyrocket from number 13. That's Jimmy Fisher.
Jimmy Fisher, the first of 2 freshmen to come up to bat here at the bottom of the second. But yeah, he really sent a balloon up there.
Isaiah Herbster at the plate, number 35.
Isaiah Herbster.
6th in the batting order for the Lancers tonight against a Satellite team that has been lights out on both sides.
That is
4-3 for out number 2. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Not the bottom of the inning that the Lancers needed, down 10. Justin DeClark, the senior, number 1 at the plate.
Right fielder, number 1, Justin DeClark.
He's in right field this evening. Swing and a miss. He wanted all that. And Tagliata says, not yet.
And Clark, the senior out here, he plays a pitcher as well.
Swing and a miss again.
He's got quite the heat when he throws, but not quite as much on his bat this season. Still trying to catch up.
0-2. Pitchers count to Clark. Delivery. Low and ball one. I don't think Justin was nervous in the least. The grace pitch, according to Dr. Steve Cox down at the end of the booth.
Pastor Cox.
Pastor Dr. Mr. Steve, coach. Swing and a miss. DeClark goes down swinging. 3 up, 3 down. Next at bat will be Nick Felke, Nick Moore, and then top of the order for the Lancers. They trail going into the third inning. 11-1 in favor of the visiting team. That's the South Central Satellites here on LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
Hey Lancer fans, advertising spots are available today with LVH1. Advertising with LVH1 at LaVille Junior Senior High School gives your business publicity with high school parents, fans, and families throughout the state of Indiana and beyond.
Advertisements can be provided by your business or made in-house by our mass media class at the high school.
All the funding goes directly to the student program and will help us gain hands-on experience in the broadcasting, video editing, and marketing fields.
If you're interested in advertising during athletic events throughout the year, please contact the broadcasting program at broadcasting@unorth.k12.in.us or call us at 574-784-3151.
Advertise today with LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
First Source Bank is a proud sponsor of LaVille Athletics. Whatever your future holds after high school, make sure you also think about your financial future. Opening an e-student checking account with First Source Bank is a great way to keep you connected to your personal finances as you start on your road to success. Bank the way you want, when you want, 24/7. Apply online at firstsource.com today, or come see us at locations in La Paz, Plymouth, Bremen, Walkerton, or South Bend.
First Source Bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Lancer Field alongside our student technical director, Zach Dolgus, Wayne Thomas. I'm Matt Florian. I'm watching a ball hit deep into center field. Garth Metters records out number 1.
He's ready to get the party started with that first out.
Anything that the Lancers can get at this point, that was Hoosman, number 13 at the plate. 1 up, 1 down. Max Sims now at the plate for the South Central Satellites. They've got a 10-run lead over the Lancers. Delivery from Ross on the way, called strike 1.
Sims with a double already on the night, looking to add to his hit total.
Isaac Ross coming in relief.
That was a
strike
nasty
2.
breaking pitch there.
Senior showing off his arm. 0-2 the count. Here's delivery. High, called ball 1. Outside in the dirt, ball 2. Riley Cox pitched the first inning where the Satellites really went to work on him. It was a 9-run top of the first for South Central. Isaac Ross in relief has kept it under control, but if the Lancers want to get back in this game, they've got to get the bats going in the bottom of each frame. Quicks by the base umpire, John Wright. No argument there from
2 outs.
Satellite head coach Ryan Krushka at third base.
Batting now for South Central.
Freshman to freshman, had Fisher hesitated at all on that throw, Herbster wouldn't have been able to recover like he did, but quick reflex from both freshmen there to get the second out of this inning.
Isaac Ross looked like that one slipped out of his hand just a little bit in the dirt and away. Ball 1. 5-3 for out number 2. Inside, called strike. It's number 6, Kyle Schmack at the plate.
And he's been on base both times at the plate already tonight.
First time got there base on balls. Second time got a single. High, and he's worked it full.
And Ross was not happy with the way that pitch came out of his hand. And
Schmack shaking his head. His dugout, as most high school dugouts do, called for him to wear it. But I think when that's going in ear level, you don't really want to mess around with that too much. Schmack once again has base on balls.
Runner on first, 2 outs.
That'll bring up the senior, number 16, Spencer Clems.
Spencer Clems.
2 outs. Lancer kept it under control here in the top of the third. Pass ball. This will go all the way to the backstop. Runners will advance to second base. Ross just having a tiny bit of control issues here in the third inning.
yeah, some of the confidence he came in with that first inning seems to waned a little bit here in the third.
Called strike, 1-1. I think it's the same kind of frustration that the ladies have had to deal with, and let's be honest, most of Indiana has had to deal with. I mean, it doesn't excuse it, but certainly what might help explain it is the cold weather. Quick chopper, out number 3. 4-3 play to get out number 3. We go to the bottom of the third. Lancers have a 10-run deficit to start working on. You're listening to LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Indiana. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
At TNA Rigging Incorporated, the staff works hard to ensure that your project is completed safely, on time, and with the least amount of interruption to your production. They aren't interested in only completing one project. Their goal is to build long-lasting relationships with customers. From machinery movement and repair, installation, transportation services, TNA Rigging has been serving Indiana and Michigan for over 10 years. For all your machinery and installation needs, call the crew at TNA Rigging Incorporated at 574-233-3074. TNA Rigging Incorporated, your satisfaction is our success.
LVH1 Broadcasting is brought to you by TNA Rigging of South Bend and Plymouth, Indiana, First Source Bank of La Paz, Indiana, and the Union North United School Corporation of Lakeville and La Paz, Indiana. What a great state we have here, and what a great evening for some baseball. Alongside Wayne Thomas and our student producer, Zach Dolgus, I'm Matt Florian. Very happy to have you with us on this live broadcast from LVH1, the student broadcasting class and club here at LaVille Junior Senior High School. Hope you will subscribe to us by hitting the red subscribe button underneath this video, and I hope you also follow us on Twitter at LVH1 Live. At the plate, the designated hitter this evening, number 8, Nick Felke. He'll be followed by Nick Moore, which will round out the batting order for the Lancers, and then Garth Metters at the top of the order, and that'll be the first time we've been through the order for the Lancers.
And if that name sounds familiar, he's the younger brother of Anthony Felke over there in left field. Both Felkes really bring a lot to this team. They're going to stick around Nick's going to stick around for a couple years. Anthony actually is already committed to college. He'll be playing baseball at the college level here next year.
Anthony Felke, one of the senior leaders on this team, and another one of those multi-sport athletes that a school like LaVille has. Competed in the wrestling season this winter. I don't believe he was involved in a winter or a fall sport, but I can check that on our ever accurate and infallible Max Preps. 3-1 to Nick Felke. Batters count from Intagliata. Bottom of the third. 11-1 in favor of the Satellites. Called strike 2.
That was a pitch that Nick wanted to swing at. Probably should have, but he hesitated and knew he wasn't going to make good contact and just laid off.
Nick's got a .250 batting average, 24 at-bats this year.
He did
There's
not
one.
lay off that one.
Skyrocket to center field. Fly out to 8. Out number 1. That'll bring Nick Moore to the plate, the catcher for the Lancers this evening. So sophomore followed by a freshman. The young guns of LaVille need to get some offense up on the board. Swing and a miss there.
A little inside. He's going to have to back up in the batter's box if he's going to swing at many like that.
Little grin on Nick's face. Watched that one go by. Knew he probably should have laid off. Outside. Ball 1. Swing and a miss there from number 7.
I'm a little eager to get something started here in the third. They still need to add a couple runs if they're going to stick around with this one and try to mount the comeback. But they're not going to do it by swinging things outside the strike zone.
Watches ball 2 go by, 2-2. Updating early softball winners this evening. Penn has won their game. St. Joe softball has won their game. Bremen has won their game. We've got a hit here from Nick Moore. That'll be into left field. That'll be out number 2. Courtesy of the glove of Michaels in left field. 2 up, 2 down, top of the order. Garth Metters at the plate.
2 outs. Top of the order up for the Lancers.
Wawasee and Rochester both win their softball games. Rochester beats Peru 5-1. Manchester beats Whitco 5-3. And Manchester is 5-0 in the TRC this year.
That brings up Garth Metters again. He worked the count earlier in order to get on base for free with a walk. Let's see what he's able to do this second at-bat of the game.
Called strike 1. Metters on the year batting .286. But he's had 35 at-bats.
Oh.
There's a quick chopper. Tagliata dived out of the way of that one. He didn't want a thing to do with it. The Charlie Brown play. Good call there from Coach Will Hostrauser. So a single into shallow center field. Lancers have one aboard. Connor Wazorek at the plate.
Connor Wazorek.
Quick toss over to first. Keep Garth Metters there. Keep him honest.
They're going to try and cut that lead down. They tried it in the first inning, too. He still got a steal, and see what they're able to do here in the third with him on base again.
This will be a quick toss over to second base. Boy, that was close. That was awful close there. I wasn't sure if he, but well, then again, with it being a force out, I guess it doesn't matter at what order. Catch is made by the second baseman. Tag applied. Out number 3. We go to the top of the fourth. South Central leads LaVille 11-1. You're listening to LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
A crisp October evening. A stadium filled with fans. A pass through. A journey completed. State of euphoria? No. The state of Indiana. High school sports. Pure spirit. Pure sport. Pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
First Source Bank is a proud sponsor of LaVille Athletics. Whatever your future holds after high school, make sure you also think about your financial future. Opening an e-student checking account with First Source Bank is a great way to keep you connected to your personal finances as you start on your road to success. Bank the way you want, when you want, 24/7. Apply online at firstsource.com today, or come see us at locations in La Paz, Plymouth, Bremen, Walkerton, or South Bend.
First Source Bank.
Member FDIC.
Welcome to Lancer Field here on LVH1, top of the fourth inning. It's 11-1 in favor of the visiting South Central Satellites. Isaac Ross on the mound for the Lancers. At the plate, number 10 for South Central. That'll be Ethan Michaels, the senior, seventh in the lineup. He'll be followed by Smoker and the pitcher Intagliata to round out the batting order. Delivery from Ross, outside, 1-1.
We've got Michaels up. He's already got 2 singles on the night.
Skyrocket. This will be playable. Just kidding. That'll be out of play over the dugout.
That's playable for the bullpen.
There you go. Souvenir for the people that get souvenirs anyway on the team. I will give a shout-out, a tip of the hat to the young Miss Felke, Anthony and Nick's younger sister, who is doing a fantastic job of wrangling the errant foul balls this season. Their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Felke, fantastic supporters of LaVille Athletics. Off the glove of Steinke, nearly had that one.
That does not happen very often. He's yelling at himself a little bit out there.
Not sure how Dennis would score that, but it is a single for number 10.
He came off his feet. That was a single.
Substitution in the batting order for South Central. That'll be number 14 at the plate for the Satellites. Number 14, Kyle Sample, the junior, subs in for number 15, the freshman. Throw to first base a little bit off the mark. Isaiah Herbster has to chase it down, but the runner stays.
But again, Ross just trying to really cut down that lead with all the stolen bases they've already racked up tonight. He doesn't want to make it any easier on them.
Straight up the middle, nearly back at Ross.
That was nearly right into his glove. I had enough steam. I think it knocked his glove out of the way for that catch.
I'll tell you what, that was, you always take as you heard with me, you always flinch a little bit when you see it coming back. Even at the high school level, that could be a tricky situation there for a pitcher in the way of a line drive up the middle. And it was interesting because Isaac Ross, he flinched, but his glove came out. So instinctively, he made what he could on that. Felke over his head all the way to the fence. This will be an RBI single. Runners will hold at first and second. Michaels will come in. Sample will stay at second base. And Tagliata at first base. And we're at the top of the order for the Satellites. That's number 4. Number 4, Charles Crawford, once again. There's another one into shallow left field, curves towards Felke. Toss over to Steinke. The cutoff eventually gets into the glove of Fisher at third base. Satellites are laying off the base running, ahead by 11 in the top of the fourth inning. 12-1 is the score, no outs. Ross on the mound for the Lancers. Bases loaded.
4 straight singles for the Satellites.
Fisher can't get it down the third base line. Runners will advance by 1. 1 run scores, and that's another RBI.
5 straight singles for the Satellites now.
That'll be Richard St. Germain at first base. He was replacing, I believe he was replacing Snyder in the lineup in the number 2 position. Now another substitution, and obviously
Now batting for
Coach Ryan
South
Krushka
Central,
wants to get as many players with some playing time up by 12.
Trent Popewell.
Brant Popewell at the plate. In the dirt, ball 1. He's batting for Hoosman, third in the lineup. Swing and a miss there.
Yeah, this is not the 4th inning they needed. Already down. 5 straight hits. Base is still loaded. But it presents a really good opportunity for South Central to get some more experience to a couple more of their players tonight. Share the at-bats amongst them.
South Central in the Porter County Conference coming into this game. Second place behind a Hebron team that's just absolutely monster this year. Hebron atop Porter County, 14-2 on the season, 5-0 in the conference.
An RBI walk for Popperell now.
Batting now for South Central.
No outs here,
Third
top
baseman
of the
number
4th
1,
inning.
Max Sims.
Just looking for a force out just about anywhere. Outside, called ball 1.
And at this point, they'll take it out any way they can get it.
Two and 0 to Sims. Delivery from Ross. Swung. This will be to Steinke. Tag at third. Runner will score from third. 1 out. 6-5 for out number 1 at third base.
Now batting for South Central, number 7, Bradley
Coming into the
Eaton.
game, number 7, Bradley Eaton, the junior, will replace Schmack. 5th in the lineup, in the batting order, I should say, for the Satellites. I think it's important for the Lancers, obviously, play this game all the way through, play it as long as they can, but I think also just take as much as they can to size this team up. This was the team that won our sectional last year at Newton Park. High ball 2.
To face adversity like this, and where we are in the season thus far, the Lancers haven't really had a whole lot of struggles to sort of have a lead like this that they've got to overcome. Still pick their heads up and start swinging some bats. Could really prove to be critical later in the season.
In the dirt. I believe that was hit by pitch. So the base is loaded once again. Nick Moore is going to have a conversation with the senior.
But so is Coach Lawler.
And it looks like Isaac Ross is going to be pulled, and I believe we might have Jimmy Fisher. Oh, it is Isaiah Herbster. I was going to say, Herbster is going to third base, so 35 goes to third base. Tyler Holland comes in at first, and Jimmy Fisher, the freshman on the mound, moves from third base to pitching defensively for the Lancers this evening. And I think this is a good call for Coach Lawler. I mean, you're down 14. You want to get a bullpen going, and you want to get the players as much in-game experience as they can.
Yeah, that's going to put the freshman on the mound. It's going to move another freshman over to the other corner. I think that's Herbster taking over for third. It's even going to bring Tyler Holland in just to get some more playing time, too.
Tyler Holland, good to see him in the game, the junior. putting in the hard work. Interesting character, but a good guy to have on the team. That's the best way to have students, to talk about students that you've had in class. He's one of the, put in very good work in the fall semester in the LVH1 program. Also put in good work on the field for Coach Will Hostrauser.
Yeah, Holland is definitely an interesting character. All smiles the other day. How you doing today, Holland? I'm having a really bad day. Smiling from ear to ear.
Just got to be positive sometimes, I guess. So Holland at first. Holland at first. Herbster at third. Fisher at the mound. And batting for South Central, number 16, Spencer Clems. He's got runners everywhere. And a 14-run lead. Top of the first, 1 out. Delivery from Fisher. Chopped right back at him. Forced just about anywhere. Awful close there by Nick. He never turned around to take a look at where the base was. I don't know if he could feel it through his cleats, but he just barely got his big toe down.
That was big for Fisher there, getting that second out, his first out as a pitcher tonight. And he stopped another run from coming across. So
Ethan Michaels at the plate now for South Central. Takes ball 1 early.
that gets marked down as a 1-2. Don't see a whole lot of that at the high school level.
Well hit to right field. To Clark underneath it. Out number 3. Fisher comes in relief. Gets the last 2. We go to the bottom of the frame. The Lancers trail 14 here at Lancer Field. You're listening to LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
First Source Bank is a proud sponsor of LaVille Athletics. Whatever your future holds after high school, make sure you also think about your financial future. Opening an e-student checking account with First Source Bank is a great way to keep you connected to your personal finances as you start on your road to success. Bank the way you want, when you want, 24/7. Apply online at firstsource.com today, or come see us at locations in La Paz, Plymouth, Bremen, Walkerton, or South Bend.
First Source Bank. Member
Welcome back to Lancer Field. Bottom of the 4th inning, the Lancers trail the Satellites of South Central High School 15-1. Intagliata on the mound has done superlative work, locking out the bats of the Lancers this evening in this non-conference game. Updating you on some scores from around Indiana. Mishawaka High School falls to Elkhart Central 3-0.
Leading off for the Lancers. Shortstop number
Northfield
4, Adam
beats
Sankey.
Tippecanoe Valley 3-1. That is a baseball score. Northfield is 3-2 in the Three Rivers Conference, and thus far the upset of the night. The the Concord Minutemen gives Northwood its first Northern Lakes Conference loss on the season. 3-1 is the final score. The Minutemen beat Northwood earlier today. That's courtesy of our friends over at Channel 46 WHME and BroadcastSport.net.
Brings to the plate. Batting at the number 4 position. Left fielder number 2, Anthony Felke.
Quick fly out to begin the inning for the Lancers here in the bottom of the frame. Anthony Felke at the plate watches ball 1 go by.
Felke's one of them. I've been able to really had the blessing of being able to watch him grow into what looks like a promising young man off the field. Obviously stellar. He's already been picked up by scholarship to play ball at the collegiate level, but I've really enjoyed watching him in the classroom for the past couple years. going to miss him next year.
Well hit, and this will be a base hit into center field. He'll stay at first. Cutoff run coming in. Good single there from number 4. Sorry, number 2, pardon me. 5th in the lineup, number 13, that's Jimmy Fisher. At the plate, he's got a runner at first. And you're going to have to help me out, Mr. Thomas. The college he's committed to, because I can't remember. Ancilla for wrestling. Okay, I was going to ask because I wasn't sure if that was a baseball or a wrestling scholarship.
And he is a dual sport athlete, so it's good to see that he's able to get in, stick close to home here.
Good hit there into the gap between short and third. Runners advance to second. Good hit there from Jimmy.
A relief pitcher, the freshman's able to get his first hit of the night.
Brings to the plate Lancer
Third baseman number 35, Isaiah Herbster at the plate for the Lancers. 2 aboard, 1 out, bottom of the 4th. Delivery high, ball 1. Herbster, I think, was one of the biggest surprises for me coming into this academic year. I had him last year as an 8th grader.
Is that because of the growth spurt?
Absolutely. The young man in number 35, White, this evening put on what must have been 8 or 9 inches this year. Straight there. That's 1. That's 2. My goodness, what a defensive play there. That's a 4-3 double play to end the 4th inning. And that's as Coach Will says, that's the game summary in a nutshell. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Lancers have one more frame to try and get on the board. 15-1 is the score here at Lancer Field against the South Central Satellites. You're listening to LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
Introducing T&A Rigging Incorporated. Since 2005, we have been the premier machinery moving company for Lakeville and the surrounding areas. Our experts specialize in moving heavy equipment and machinery. We can also install, repair, and offer precision alignment for your machines. We can help with crane services and steel fabrication in-shop or on-site. For more info, visit tarigging.com or call 574-233-3074.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Indiana are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academic association.
LVH1 Broadcasting brought to you by the Union North United School Corporation, First Source Bank of La Paz, Indiana, and T&A Rigging of Plymouth and South Bend, Indiana. Top of the 5th inning here at Lancer Field alongside our student tech director, Zach Dolgus and Wayne Thomas. I'm Matt Florian, very happy to have you aboard for a baseball evening from Lakeville, Indiana. Score is not a pleasant one if you're a Lancer fan, but a pleasing one and a positive non-conference game so far for the Satellites of South Central.
Top of inning number 5.
Fisher on the mound for the Lancers. Number 14, Kyle Sample, 8th in the lineup. He replaces Smoker.
He had a single last time at bat. Now going fishing here. With Jimmy up on the mound. I wrote that one down. I was looking forward to saying
it. Anything we can get. There you go. Elsewhere in IHSAA action this evening, in the baseball column, Riley beats Bremen 4-1. That's varsity. That's a varsity contest. Swing and a miss there. That's a K for Fisher. And you can tell the freshman Not used to that position because he held his glove up for the ball from Nick Moore, and Nick Moore did his throw down to third.
But it's good to see he and Herbster having a couple words of encouragement back and forth, the freshmen sticking together out here. I don't know what Herbster told to him, but he needs to take it back.
High and above the head of Intagliata, ball one. Marion High School softball beats Mishawaka High School 9-1.
That's my alma mater out there with another loss tonight. What's their record on the season so far for Mishawaka?
That is a good question. We're going to have to check on that. Here's a chance from Metters. Sliding out number 2. Fly out to
that was a
center
gem.
field there. Yeah.
Top
Top of the order. That'll be number 4, Crawford, coming up for the Satellites.
We're going to put that one on the highlight reel, right?
Absolutely. They're all highlights. Delivery from Fisher in the dirt, called strike. Should say in the dirt. That was Nick Moore just let go of that one. You see the ball dribbling out, you wait for the call. 0-1 delivery. Swing and a miss there. Crawford wanted all of it. A little bit of chatter there from his dugout. Even Coach Krushka on the third base line is just kind of looking and shaking his head and covering his mouth. What were you swinging at that, he seems to say. 1-2. It's good to have some levity, I suppose, but then again, up 14 runs. Things are going the way of South Central this evening. 1-2 delivery from Fisher on the way. Swing and a miss there. Drop ball.
That is a second K for the freshman, so a good outing for him coming in a rough spot.
We go to the bottom of the 5th. Lancers are going to need a whole bunch to stay in this game and keep this one going. Rally towels are out here at Lancer Field. You're listening to LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
Hey, Lancer fans! Advertising spots are available today with LVH1. Advertising with LVH1 at LaVille Junior Senior High School gives your business publicity with high school parents, fans, and families throughout the state of Indiana and beyond.
Advertisements can be provided by your business or made in-house by our mass media class at the high school.
All the funding goes directly to the student program and will help us gain hands-on experience in the broadcasting, video editing, and marketing fields.
If you're interested in advertising during athletic events throughout the year, please contact the broadcasting program at broadcasting@unorth.k12.in.us or call us at 574-784-3151.
Advertise today with LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
LVH1 Broadcasting is seeking donors and advertisers for the 2017-2018 athletic seasons. If you would like to help support the student mass media class at LaVille High School and the LVH1 Broadcasting Club for the junior senior high school students, please contact us today at 574-784-3151 or email us at broadcasting.unorth.k12.in.us. Zach Dolgus working our camera and our technical director this evening. Wayne Thomas to my left. I'm Matt Florin. Very happy to have you aboard. Bottom of the 5th inning. Justin DeClark at the plate. 2-0 count to the senior right fielder this evening. Lancers have a 14-run deficit and will need at least 5 to keep this game going.
And DeClark swings a quick bat. He really wants something that he can take a bite out of. That one was a little further outside than he was willing to take a risk on.
2-1 the count. No outs. I think at this point, if you're Justin Clark, you want to take just about everything you can. Nearly goes all the way around with that one. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Tagliata gets the signal, and the delivery swing and a miss from the senior.
It's going to bring up Felke on top of wrestling and on top of baseball. He also taking a little bit of the broadcast role in. He was part of the broadcast club a while back.
He was a part of the class here at LaVille last year. He and his brother took the class the entire year. The way it works here at LaVille, you can take the mass media class for 1 school year. We are adding, pleased to say, we are adding journalism to the program. Next year, we'll have our very first class of journalism students. I'm looking forward to working with those young ladies and gentlemen next year. And as always, we are recruiting in the club for the middle schoolers that can't take the class. It's a high school level course. And for those that are unable to. And this is, again, I can empathize with the coaches as Felke takes a look at a 1-on-1 ball, 2-1 the count. I can empathize with the coaches because a lot of the students are very interested in taking journalism or broadcasting, the mass media class, but a lot of them have vocational classes or have the honors track, and it's a good problem to have. You have students that want to take the honors, the AP, the different course offerings here at LaVille, and inevitably sometimes that means you have to sacrifice some of the electives. Batters count 3-1, swing and a miss.
Full count.
Delivery on the way. Fouled off, we'll do it again.
That one's not coming down for a while, so we'll just put another ball out to the pitcher. That ball is still up there, I think.
Nick Felke's little sister, she is going to finish her hot chocolate down there, it looks like, and then chase it down in the swamp. Delivery outside, called strike. Caught him looking. And now that swing at the third with a 3-1 count. That'll be number 15, Trent Brooks at the plate, another freshman subbed into the game. I believe that'll be for Nick Moore in the bottom of the order. 2 outs. Swung and fouled back.
Yeah, we're grasping at the final straws here. Brooks he can't win the game, but he's got to get on base if they're going to do anything here.
Tagliata called strike 1. Oh and 2 to Brooks. Tagliata gets the sign. Delivery. Called strike 3. That'll do it here from Lancer Field. South Central Satellites will improve to 9-5 on the season. The Lancers will fall to 9-4 on the season.
They ended that one as strong as they started it with. Defensively, that was 3 Ks from their pitcher to end the night on what has been just an all-around offensive overhaul for them.
Tough outing for the home team, but a lot to build on. The next game here at Lancer Field will be tomorrow against North Judson St. Pierre, which we will keep an eye on the weather for that one. I'm not sure if we're going to have...
The meteorologist has not been favorable to us for tomorrow night. Looks like there's about a 110% chance of rain from what I saw earlier.
Just about. North Judson St. Pierre, that is scheduled to start tomorrow at 5:45. We'll get a confirmation from Coach Will Hostrauser in just a moment. We're going to step aside, pay a couple of bills. Your final score here in 5 innings. Lancers fall to the Satellites of South Central. 15-1 is the final. We'll come back in just a moment. You're listening to LVH1, the voice of Lancer Nation.
First Source Bank is a proud sponsor of LaVille Athletics. Whatever your future holds after high school, make sure you also think about your financial future. Opening an e-student checking account with First Source Bank is a great way to keep you connected to your personal finances as you start on your road to success. Bank the way you want, when you want, 24/7. Apply online at firstsource.com today, or come see us at locations in La Paz, Plymouth, Bremen, Walkerton, or South Bend.
First Source Bank. Member FDIC.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Indiana. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
At TNA Rigging Incorporated, the staff works hard to ensure that your project is completed safely, on time, and with the least amount of interruption to your production. They aren't interested in only completing one project. Their goal is to build long-lasting relationships with customers. From machine removement and repair, installation, transportation services, TNA Rigging has been serving Indiana and Michigan for over 10 years. For all your machinery and installation needs, call the crew at TNA Rigging Incorporated at 574-233-3074. TNA Rigging Incorporated, your satisfaction is ours.
Welcome back to Lancer Field. Your final here this evening. The South Central Satellites beat the home team. The Lancers fall 15-1 is your final score. South Central improves to 9-5 on the season. I'll tell you what, tip of the hat to whoever is doing the scores and the stats on Max Preps for the Satellites, because that is right there. And I don't blame them. I mean, that's a good stat line and a good win to post as they head back to Porter County, see if they can chase down the number one team in their conference. Your final stat line here available on LVH1 Live, a final in 5. South Central wins 15 runs to 1 for the Lancers. South Central has 15 runs, 15 hits, no errors, and 6 left on base. LaVille loses on 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 left on base for the Lancers tonight. Mr. Thomas, it was no way to slice it other than it was a tough outing for the home team.
It was not the game they came in expecting to play. Like we'd said before, they didn't take it for granted at all over that South Central team. Statistics-wise, it looked like it should have been an even matchup, but really South Central just put this one on the head, flipped it around. They took that early lead, and LaVille just wasn't able to get back into it. They weren't able to play the game they wanted after giving up those runs in the first inning. 9 of them in the first inning. It's just really hard to come back from that.
The Lancers will break their 4-game win streak. South Central builds on their own win streak. 2 games old. They lost again. They lost on the 29th to New Prairie, 8-7 in a close game. They beat Boone Grove down in Valparaiso, and then they beat LaVille tonight. They will face Victory Christian Academy on the 6th, Glenn on the 8th, and Bremen on the 13th. So a bit of a tough schedule for the Satellites as well. The Lancers will be back in action tomorrow against North Judson St. Pierre, and then on the 5th at North Judson St. Pierre. The game tomorrow scheduled for a 4:45 first pitch. We'll be broadcasting live with one of the best broadcasting crews in northern Indiana today, and that's the story I'm sticking to as long as Mr. Wayne Thomas and Mr. Zach Dolgus shows up, and as long as we have Dr. Pastor Steve Cox working scoreboard and PA for us. That'll do it for us. I'm Matt Florian for our LVH1 crew. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you will subscribe by hitting the red subscribe button underneath this video. We hope you will follow us on Twitter at LVH1 Live. LVH1 is brought to you by the Union North United School Corporation, First Source Bank of La Paz, Indiana, TNA Rigging of Plymouth and South Bend. For Wayne Thomas and our student tech director, Zach Dolgus, I'm Matt Florian. Until next time, tomorrow from Lancer Field against the Blue Jays of North Judson St. Pierre, I'm Matt Florian. Go Lancers!